data types in Python. Python has some built-in data types that you can use to create variables of those types. But in Python, it is not mandatory to specify the type of the variable when you create a variable. So Python is dynamic typed programming language. For text type, we have str, which is the short for string, and then we have numeric types. We have int or integer for the whole number, float for decimal number, complex for complex number. For sequence types, we have list, tuple, and range. For mapping type, we have ticket or dictionary. We have set types, set and frozen set. We have boolean type, bool, for false and true for conditionals. Python has also binary types, bytes, bytearray, memoryview, and finally non-type. These are Python keywords or Python terms, and these are the name of the types. You can use these terms to also convert from one type to another type, or for type conversion, or for type casting. Let us create a variable type string. When you assign a value to a variable, the value defines the data type for that variable. So that is called dynamic type. But you also can specify the type. Month with underscore, and we say it is string, and we give here the value February. Types or classes. Types or objects. As you see here, we have the keyword str and parenthesis, and inside parenthesis we pass value. We pass value to the class or to the type through the constructor of the class. We will talk about classes later in this video, but for now just know that classes have attributes, methods, properties that you can use. We have different data types because different data types do different things, and we can do different things with different data types. The world of information technology is about data. What data? The data that we every day use in our daily life. The data or information about the human or people in a society. Information and data about the products in the society. And the data and information about everything human needs in the society. We have different data types because we have different products, different things in our life. Back to the data type. Here we have a string without specifying it is type explicitly, and here we have string with specifying it is type. The same way we have for numeric types. Year 2023. You can also use the name of the type and parentheses to convert one type to another type. For float, complex number 5j and complex number underscore if you want to specify it as type. So using the word complex parentheses and 5j. Same thing for sequence types. So for the list, you open square brackets and then you add values inside the square brackets. You can also create that by setting the type as well, saying list, and instead of using square brackets, you can use parentheses. Now for tuple, names, parentheses, and enter values. Now I use just strings. You can add any type of data inside a list, inside tuple, and inside of all of them. You can create variable type tuple by specifying its type as well. And then for the range secret, you have to call it range and then pass it a number. Range is a type that when you pass a value or a number to the type, it stores from 0 up to and including that number. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Range is used in loops and other things, especially in loops, they use range a lot. Now I give you a quick examples of these types, but there are a lot in these types. Python is a special programming language for working with data. So each type has many methods, many functionalities. There are many functions, attributes, properties that you need to learn to work with different types of data and to be able to work with each type. I will teach you a lot about how to work with strings, with numbers, with list, with tuple, with dictionary. Let us print this out to check. For example, we want to get the third item in the range. So if you want to get a specific item from a range, you use the name of the variable and then square brackets and the index number of that item. In programming, indexing starts from 0. The third item in the range is 2. Mapping type. Dictionary is a type in which you store key value pairs data. For example, we say new user and we use the keyword decade, and here you pass values to this type, name of the user, and then use colon, then provide value. And these are both the same. You can get a specific data from a dictionary using the key. For example, new user. You can then use square bracket, and here the IntelliSense suggests you the keys. In our new user dictionary, we have age, ID, and name. We ask it for the age. So the age, run user age is 30. If we say user name, we change that to name. His username is Lee. And then we have set. Here we add values. If you want to create a variable type frozen set, you have to specify the type name, curly braces, pass value. For example, for boolean, in boolean you have only false and true. In Python you write the false with uppercase letter F and the true with uppercase letter T. Binary types by T. To create variable type binary or type bytes, you use the prefix b and then a value. You can do the same by using the bytes theorem. Byte types again underscore bytes for byte array. You have to specify the byte array. For memory view type, you have to specify the term memory view or specify the type. So it has to be bytes and inside the bytes, for example, a number. Memory view is used to access data from the memory without copying it first. And for none type you have none. None is nothing. Now you know all the built-in type names and terms. In some cases, dynamic or implicit type conversion happens automatically by Python compiler. For example, you get some data from an API and you don't take care of all the types, and then Python will take over and then set a type to the data. To make sure that you get the result that you want, you should explicitly set the type. So type conversion is all about converting from one type to another type implicitly by compiler or explicitly by you. You can do it by setting the type name, or the compiler does it by looking at the data. You can also get the type of a variable. For example, there is a keyword type in Python. It is a class, and then inside of this you can pass data to the through the constructor to the object or class to find out what is the type of that data. For example, I pass here the byte types. Here it says class bytes. If you use dot, here you can get the name, and it prints only the name of the type. Run again, it says bytes. You can pass here data, text, and it says str, which stands for string. If you remove that and you run again, this time it says class str. That is the type. These are some examples of typecasting or converting from one type to another type. I prepare this to save times. So to convert an integer to float, you use the keyword float and then parentheses, and you pass the integer value to the class or to the type through constructor, and then one integer will be 1.0 float, two string will be 2.0 float, and 5.7 string will be 5.7 float. 3.5 is float, so it will be float. If you convert float to float, it will be float, and it's not necessary actually, but this is an example. And then integer to integer or whole number to whole number will be the number itself, and then two string to integer will be two integer. If you pass float string to int, it will throw error. Let me show you, and it says value error, invalid literal for int with base 10, 5.7, and then 3.5 will be 3. When you convert float to integer, it takes only the whole part of the number and it ignores the part after the comma. So even if it is 3.9, it will be 3. You can convert anything to a string, and it will wrap that thing with double quotes or single quotes, and it will be plain text. So if you convert integer 1 to a string, it will be 1 string. To a string will be to a string. Converting from a string to a string is just a string. Converting float to a string will be float string. You convert this dictionary to a string, we'll wrap it with double quotes, and then because it is a plain text and it has not the functionality and methods and attributes that the dictionary has, you cannot access the values of keys from your dictionary when it is a string. These are some basic examples, and you can convert anything to any type using the same method. The name of the type, parenthesis, and pass the value, and it will convert it to that type. There are a lot to know about the types. We will dig deep in types and we will go through each type and we will see what we can do with each type. But before that, I would like to teach you about operators, conditionals, loops, and functions. Because to work with a string, with numbers, with uh, with arrays, with lists, tuples, dictionary sets, we need to know about loops, conditionals, and operators. I hope it was helpful and you learned about data types and type conversion, implicit type and explicit type in Python.